On to the second match of the last Storm League that I've got to play with Gitaxian Probe being legal. We lost our first match against Miracles. We lost it 1-2, and we're going to lose the die roll and probably keep this despite the fact that it's pretty mediocre. It's a pretty awkward hand in that it's hinging really heavily on that Preordain doing something. Like, it's nice to have Tendrils and a Cabal Ritual in hand. They were good draws. So the probe is just going to let us dig a card deeper. See if we can maybe just try to kill our opponent. And of course, we need another land. Our opponent doesn't really have much going on here, so I think they need to brainstorm into exactly a piece of interaction right now. Otherwise, we just get to win on the spot. We also are heavily reducing the interaction that they can draw off the brainstorm. It has to be literally Flusterstorm or Force of Will, and nothing else is actually going to get them there. Now, having said that, we are really soft to either of those. We might be able to rebuild. It is possible. To that effect, I think we probably should have cracked the LED for red. The reason being, at least that way we get to start our next turn. Yeah, okay. Doesn't even matter. I think we can just Gitaxian Probe our opponent now. No. We should have probed our opponent just to see if there was anything else interesting going on. But it looks like they just found nothing. Alright, so Miracles, so we'll just bring in the same sideboard as last time. -1 Dark Petition, -1 Basic Land, -1 Lotus Petal, -1 Cabal Ritual. We're cutting the basic swamp despite the fact that we saw back to basics, as we don't really expect to be back to basics to be particularly stellar against us. We can remove it, and it can be a real liability for our opponent. It can put them in a position where they tap out on turn 3 for a back to basics, and we get to play a fetch land, duress them, kill them. Plus they know we play basics. I think this is a mediocre hand that we can kind of feel like mulliganing. Okay, so I've decided to keep. It's slow and it's a little bit clunky. It's probably going to be something like play a land, turn 1, do nothing, turn 2, play Ground Seal, hope it sticks, hope that one of our draws draws us into something. So I guess the good thing with Ground Seal is it'll get us 3 draws, or 4. We'll see 4 new cards at least by the time it's turn 3. So maybe that will get us enough. Okay, So we have enough interaction by now that we can start just doing a bit of damage to our opponent's hand. We're happy to do this. We'll take... kind of want to take Surgical Extraction, as when we cast Ground Seal next turn, it's going to be the logical card for them to do Surgical Extraction, and that will actually hurt us. They do have a Disenchant in hand, so Disenchant is... we have a question as to whether or not we go after it, but I don't think we do. It trades pretty unfavorably with Ground Seal. So it puts them down a card without taking a card out of our hand. It just means we spent a turn doing nothing, but realistically so did they. We forced them to keep in a clunky card and have to hold up mana to use it. So then we'd really like to draw a Brainstorm next turn. We're not super excited to have the Tendrils in hand. Nor are we so excited to have an extra 2 lands, as I think we're going to find enough throughout the course of the game. So our opponent's very likely going to be trying to drop Jace this turn. Which has the potential to be very good for us. Depending on what we can draw. So I think we'd really like to go something like a Gitaxian Probe into an Infernal Tutor. No, okay. So at the moment, what we're just hoping to do is play Draw Go. We're going to try to build up enough cards in hand that we're going to try to resolve Tendrils from hand for lethal, after having taken something like Fluster Storm and Snapcaster Mage from their hand. It's not necessarily going to be particularly easy. We've only got 5 relevant cards in hand, and we're going to have to draw up to 8 to do so. Or at least find a minimum of 1 Gitaxian Probe, and we're going to have to resolve at least most of our spells. We're very likely to be able to resolve the rituals, which is helpful. Okay, our opponent will probably Surgical Duress here. And I think they're mostly deploying the Snapcaster just to get a clock on us, because at the moment they're just not really doing enough to threaten us. They're also holding up mana for Vendilion Clique. So I wonder if they're surgicaling for Vendilion Clique information here. I can't recall this game. Okay, and a rest in peace. So we don't care about rest in peace. Rest in peace is possibly one of the least threatening things they can do for us at the moment, just because of how we intend to play this game. It makes Past in Flames worse. We don't have Past in Flames. It makes Snapcaster almost worthless. It makes Surgical Extraction, if they find it, worthless. And they're very low on cards at the moment. And it looks like they're trying to aggressively burn through their cantrips to generate monks, which I think actually favors us on one level, because I don't think they can kill us next turn, based on the number of lands and cards in hand they have. So I think we get to buy one more turn. And we're happy for our opponent to take us to, I think, so they're going to have 4 cards in hand, so cast probably 4 to 5 spells. So what's that? 10, 13, 15 damage this turn, which I think will bring us to 1. Is that a blind predict? No, okay. Okay, so they can cast another 3 cantrips maybe this turn. Depending on if they, okay, so they have another land, so it's possible they can cast another 4 cantrips. So we're up to 9 damage on board. We may even be able to win with a single fetch. Oh wow. So they must have drawn a reasonable amount of interaction and/or lands here. And we're going to fetch on upkeep for... look, we all know thinning is marginal. But at a certain point, like now, where we can't afford to draw a land, I think we're very interested in... Yep. So we managed to draw up to 6 cards. We're going to get to 7. Our opponent is likely to counter something. Okay. So I think we had Lethal Storm anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, okay, so we had... No, we didn't, because we needed to get to 8. Okay, so we really did need our opponent to do something here. So we really were just daring him into it at this point. And right about now, this has put him in a really awkward spot because he can't... He needs exactly Flusterstorm. So he can't Force of Will, he needs to Fluster. So we get there.